Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Hera's Life and Journey. If you're new here, my name's Hera. I'm a 26-year-old living in Nevada, and I make videos about my life, my hobbies, journaling, decorating, stationery, planning, decorating K-pop sometimes, and my journey, my debt repayment and savings journey, and really anything I find interesting. If you've been here before, thank you so much for stopping by again. Let's see, today we're doing a really fun video. This is our first fountain pen video. You've probably, if you've seen my plan with me's, you might have seen me use fountain pens or talked about them. So today we're going to go through my fountain pen collection and we'll just talk about it. We'll go through together my inks as well and do swatches because I do have all of them inked right now for this video, but also because I've been wanting to see and make sure I have, an idea of what my inks are. So every fountain pen I own is in this case. So I started using fountain pens back in college. So that's like what, way long ago. It's been years. So some of these pens you're going to see are pretty old. I actually don't have my first pen anymore because it broke. And they're pretty affordable. I do have really, really affordable ones. The Pilot Kakuno's one, which are like around $10, I think. Well, when I got them, I think now they're like more 15. And some mid-range, really good quality ones, TWSBIs and Pilot Metropolitans. And we're just gonna go through. I'll talk through them, and we'll talk about what I like about them. I'm not very knowledgeable or technical. I literally just do this for fun, and I choose my pens on how I feel while writing them, and how it looks like. So if you're looking for more like technical nib size, nib style things, I definitely would lower expectations for this video. This is just for funsies and what I like. Ooh, so this pencil case, if you're interested, is actually from Kokuyo. I got this from Jet Pens. It's the waffle one. I really like it because I can just lay out everything, and I believe the best way, from what I read before, to store fountain pens is actually like this, laying on its side when it's inked. So even when it's not inked, really. So we're gonna go through this. Just like a quick glimpse of all of my fountain pens. You're gonna see it's majority TWSBIs. So we'll scoot this around, and I have my Hobonichi Techo, and I have my Hobonichi Techo here that we can use to just do some swatches so you can kind of see how it looks like. I think that's fine. Yep. And we're gonna start with our cheapest ones. And honestly, some of my most used pens, like not gonna lie, I probably used this way too much. But these are my Pilot Kakunos. I got this for a long time. You can kind of tell how old they are. These, so they're all inked. This one's a medium nib, and then this one is a fine nib. So this is the Pilot one. So the Japanese nibs tend to be much thinner than the American or Western ones, and I do have one that we can compare later. I really like these, one because they're cheap, and I don't care if I oh no. Well, that happens. Let me go wash my hands. Okay, thankfully that didn't really like go anywhere except my hand. Oh, okay. Fun. So this is leaking. It is old. It might be the converter, so the Pilot converters kind of suck. This is the Con 40, I think. So let me just write it and put this away. This is the Pilot. I should write nicer. Kakuno in fine. And this is inked with, I actually have my little notes here on what it's inked with. So the Pilot Kakuno Fine is inked with the Sailor Manyo Nekoyanagi. So this is how it looks like in a sailor, in a pilot Kakuno fine nib. Yeah, I'll have to clean this up because that ink is like leaking, and it's probably because of the converter. Whoops. Okay, we'll put this to the side. But it's a really good pen. Again, usually the cartridge is better, so I got the Con 40 converters, so that's why I put it. So I might have just not um, closed it properly, or it might actually be the converter because I've had some issues with this converter before. That's fine. I'll clean this up. And then we have the Pilot Kakuno in medium. And this has the diamine, I believe it's Brandy Flame. Yes. And I do have the ink swatches here as well, so you can kind of see how those swatches would look like. So here's my little binder. So let's see, let's try to find this. Yeah, so this is Brandy Flame right here. So let me pull this out. So that's how it looks like in like a swatch, and this is using like a dropper and then like a cotton ball to like spread it out kind of thing. Yeah, so this is Brandy Flame. It's really pretty. The Pilot still lets you see some of the shine, the glitter, so it's actually really nice. And then the Sailor Manyo Nekoyanagi, this is how it looks like in a swatch. I believe it's dual shading is what it's called. I'm not sure if you'll correct me. You can't really see it as much when you use the pen, but still pretty good, honestly. Alrighty. This is my first fountain pen video, and I thought I was prepared, but I wasn't. Okay, but those are the two pilots. I use them when I go outside. So when I go to class to take notes, these are the ones I bring. It's kind of that feeling of I don't care what happens to them because I know I can easily replace them, and it wouldn't hurt me if I lose them or they get damaged or gets used and gets wear and tear. So those are my two pilot kakunos. Let me put them to the side. And then we are going to move on to my other Pilot pen, which is the Pilot Metropolitan. I love this pen. This is actually my daily pen. This is my daily driver pen. Like I use this for my dailies. I also bring this to school or to work with me. You can see there's like already a scratch. I've had this for years. Since 2020. So I've had it for 5 years, and it gets used a lot. It's my favorite. I honestly, between these two, I prefer this more. But this doesn't really have as much color options. There's a Kakuno that I really want. It's like the jelly texture one. So I'm considering that, or I might just buy more of these because I really like these and they look professional. I can't really use this at work. I can, but I'd rather not. And with clients, I can definitely use this because it looks more professional. And this is the Pilot Metropolitan. And this is in fine. So I really like thin nibs. Um, they're they're better for my handwriting because I have really tiny handwriting. Like this is me trying to make my handwriting bigger so that you can see it on camera. But like usually how I would write is this is how I usually write. So it's very tiny, and the fine nib lets my handwriting, more legible, become more legible or stay more legible. And this is inked with the Pilot. Okay, so this is the Pilot. This is a Pilot ink. This is called Old Man Winter. I think so. Shogun or something like that. but it's called Old Man Winter, the English um, name for it. And this has a cartridge that I refilled. So this used to be a black ink cartridge, but I used a syringe that I got from Goulet Pens, and then I just put it in. Or Goulet Pens, or was it Jet Pens? One of those stores. And I just refilled it myself. So I definitely think cartridge is a better fit than the Con 40s. So those are my 3 Pilot pens. Out of these, this one was a bit more expensive. I believe this was like 25. So I recommend this one the most. But for starters, or if you know that you might lose it, you might bring it to school or somewhere where you're not sure if you're going to be okay with it getting damaged, these are great options. So those are the first 3, and they're Pilots. Just to compare them with pens, I do have 2 pens here. I have the Zebra Sarasa Mark On in 0.4, and then the Zebra Sarasa Mark On in 0.5. These are my daily pens that I use in papers that don't handle what do you call this? Don't handle fountain pens well. So the fine is a closer one to 0.4, and the medium, which we're gonna grab this, is closer to 0.5, sometimes 0.7, depending on the inks and how it flows. But usually that's how it is. Can you see that? Yep. So those are our Pilot pens. I have one Western pen, which is a LAMY Safari in matte black in medium. Yeah, this is medium. And just to show the difference, this is a medium Pilot. This is a medium Safari. Okay, I shouldn't have done 2 lines. Let me do it side by side. And the LAMY Safari is much, a little bit of a larger nib than the Pilot. And you can kind of tell when I write. See? Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's a little bit broader in comparison. But this is my only LAMY. I like how it looks like. Getting the medium nib was definitely a mistake. But it actually worked out because I needed it for one of my inks, which is the Jacques Urban? No, it's French, so it should be Jacques Urban. I don't know. I believe, yeah, it is. It is. And it's called Shogun. It's like a black with glitter. It's a really pretty ink when I'm not using it with my fine nibs or my extra fine nibs. Um, so this is how it is when it dries. You can kind of see it here. And let me pull up the swatch for it. This is how it looks like in this wash. So this is like that glitter right here. So it's really pretty. It's just honestly a pain to use with yeah, it's a really pretty ink. It's just a pain to use with any of my fine or extra fine nibs, my Pilots and my TWSBIs. So that's why I only use it with this LAMY Safari. This has a converter on it as well. It holds enough ink. And this ink is pretty dry. I'm not too sure on exactly the difference between dry and wet. No, it's like dry inks when you write with them. They dry faster, but they also dry up on my pen more and tends to clog. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but this ink is I don't like it. I like wet inks, like Pilot. So this is not my favorite. And I have a whole bottle of it. So I'm trying to use it up with this ink. But yeah, I don't like I don't like this medium nib for my daily writing, and that ink can't really be used with my fine or extra fine, so I'm just here with it, and I just use it when I break break when I take random notes in class or something. But that is my only Lamy Safari. The rest, these these are all TWSBIs, and we're gonna go through them one by one. So let's go with these first. So these are TWSBI Ecos, black, white, and purple. I love TWSBIs. I really do. This entire, like, it has a clear barrel so you can see how much ink you have. And this is the amount of ink it can hold. Like, I've had this inked up for 2 months since I last um, did it, and I've been using it a lot. And there's still that much ink. It's really good for like long-term use. You don't really run out of ink. Similar to this one and similar to this one. I've been using this a lot too. So we'll start with this one. This is the TWSBI Eco Purple in medium. And this has also Sailor Nikoyonagi. So, oh no. So these two are the same exact inks, but you can see how you can kind of tell that dual shading more in the medium than you can in the fine. And this is what happened with the little swatch spill earlier. So you can see this is closer to this than this was to here. So medium nibs or larger, broader nibs are really cool for inks that has that dual shading or glitter, so you can see it more. But I kind of like this as well. So that is one of the Ecos. And then we have a white one. This one is, I believe, broad. This might be in broad. Yep. This be Eco White in broad. And this has the Pilot Hiro Shizuku Takesumi, which is the black ink, only broad nib. I wanted one for funsies' sakes and because it helps me do my headings for my journals or for my dailies, but I would never get another broad nib again. I had a 1.1 stub nib that I broke. That was in this pen, but yeah, never again. One broad tip is enough for me. And then we have our other Eco, which we're gonna move here. This Eco is TWSBI Eco Black. And the color here is Colorverse. What was it? Coffee Break. One of the prettiest browns ever. Very, it's true to the color, right? I mean, true to the name. The color's true to the name. It's Coffee Break, and I use this a lot. I'm amazed at how much ink it can hold since I use it so much. So this is the sample, and you can tell with the fine nib, you actually get pretty close to that true color here. That's the darkest it goes, that's the lightest it goes. I really like this for daily checklists, journaling. It's a very good ink. But TWSBI's Pros, pretty affordable. I believe this was 40 bucks from Jet Pens. I did get this a while ago, so I don't know if there's been a price increase. It stores a lot of ink, it's beginner friendly, and it's very easy to maintain. I don't have as much problems with leaks because the converters there's already a piston barrel ink holder thing in the pen itself that I don't have to replace, unlike the pilots. So I really like these. And those are my first 3 ecos. I've had these for a while. None were recently purchased. However, these were purchased recently. This is part of their breakfast series. They are always sold out, which is so frustrating because I really like these, and I actually messed up one of these because I added the glitter here. I added I believe the Jock Urbon. Um, this is the pen that got messed up because I added that Jock Urbon ink to it, and there's still some like glitter left, but it's okay. It's getting better. I cleaned it out as best as I could. But this is part of the morning series. Yeah, morning breakfast series. This is the cafe creme, and then this is the cafe bronze, I believe. Yeah. And then there's also an espresso and matcha one. I want to get those, but I don't have the budget for them, so we're not getting them for now. But I will as soon as I'm able to. Oh no! So these have a rose gold plating, and they're just like the earlier ecos. It's just the colors are much nicer. These are both, I believe, both of them. Yeah, both of these are extra fines. So the TWSBI Creme Bronze in extra fine has Sailor Manyo Akamai as the ink. It's one of my favorite inks as well. I really like Sailor inks. I just hate that they're so tiny for the price, but nope, this is definitely Sailor ink, one of my favorite bronze. I tried to match it with the barrel color or the theme color, and then this one is the TWSBI Rose Creme, I believe. Yeah, creme rose. Creme rose. Yeah, I should switch these two. This is also an extra fine. I didn't know what to fill this up with, so I actually filled this up with a Sailor Manyo Fuji ink. Very pretty ink. So my Sailor Manyo Fuji is very similar to the Nekoyanagi. It's just that the Nekoyanagi has that dual shading. I actually prefer this lighter purple, but it's also really pretty. And let me shading. I actually prefer this lighter purple, but it's also really pretty. And let me. So these are the swatches of those two. So this is Sailor Manyo Akamai, and then this is Sailor Manyo Fuji. So it could definitely pull a lot heavier or a lot more darker purple if this was a bigger nib. But I really like the light colors. So those are those. I love these two pens. I also use them a lot, as you can tell. I probably, after I'm done using up all these inks, I'll probably flush some of them out. I don't want to keep the inks too long. I mainly inked up everything because for this video I wanted to show both, but also like I just wanted to see which ones I like because I'm trying to adopt the kind of the process, I guess the principle of one in, one out. So for me to get a new ink that I like, I have to use up whatever is in here already. And I'm trying to use up some of the bottles and try to get rid of them. Those are all of the TWSBI Ecos. Now we have these. These are the Diamond 580s. They're a little more expensive. Out of all the ones I have, these are actually the most expensive one. So if you recall, Kakunos are like around 10 to 15. Metropolitans are 25 to 30. LAMYs, I believe, are 20 to 30 as well. The Eco purple, white, and black, those are like 30, 35. I don't know if they've increased, around 40 maybe. The breakfast, bronze, and creme rose, those are a bit more expensive. I believe they were 45. Um, so these are like around 85, 90. The diamond 580s. And I love these. Love these. Love these. I wish they release a creme bronze or a morning breakfast version for the 580s, and I'm definitely gonna get them. I'm so going to get them. So let me go and start with these two. This one I just got this year, actually. I got it earlier this year. This one I've had for a long time, and this is the one that used to have a 1.1 stub nib that I broke while I was trying to clean. So that was kind of funny. As you can tell, this is supposed to have that rainbow um, color, but it's the normal one because I had to replace the nib. But this is the Diamond 580, also a TWSBI in fine nib, or no, an extra fine nib. And this has the Dominant Industry, one of my favorite inks, early spring ink. It's basically a white gray with shimmer. And you can kind of see it in the barrel. And here it is on the paper. One of my favorites. It has glitter, but it doesn't clog my extra fine, which is so different from the Chalk Urban one, JH1. So I really like this ink. One of my favorites. As you can tell, I've used this up. I've used this in my journal a lot. So that's the first Diamond 580. And then we have the another Diamond 580. This is just the white one, or clear. And this one is also an extra fine, and this has Old Man Winter as well. So if you recall that Pilot pen, this one, these two are the same inks, but you can tell how they have a different color in a way when I write them down with this pen and that pen. They come out much lighter with the Pilot and darker with the TWSBI Diamond 580. And then let me just show how pretty that early spring ink is. As you can see here, this is how it's supposed to look like. That's all of the shimmer, and you can see it here as well. I hope it shows in camera, but it's one of my favorite things. And then we have our last two fountain pens. These are my absolute favorites, as you can tell from the inks. I actually always ink this up. I probably will always ink these up unless I get a new pen. I probably want another one of these because I've had this for a while, since 2020, I think, for both of these. No, this was 2022 and this was 2020, I think. Or was it 2023? Not sure, but I've had these for a while. I don't recall the dates. But yeah, this is the TWSBI Diamond Rose Gold White in fine. And this has the Diamine Earl Grey ink. One of my favorite inks. I believe it's literally everywhere in YouTube. It's like a really dark gray, and it's really great for journaling if you don't like super dark blacks like the Pilot. Super good ink. Almost done with this, and I'll be refilling this. It also just feels so nice and hefty in the hand. So the difference between this and an Ecos tend to be lighter. They also have a more boxy shape compared to this. This is like closer to, I guess, the more expensive designs you'd see for fountain pens, like the Sailor Pro Gears. But I really like these. Really worth the price. And then this last one is a TWSBI Diamond 580 in smoke rose gold in fine as well. And this has the Sailor Kitsune Biori, one of my favorite inks as well. I really like browns and pinks. Well, yeah, browns with pinks or red undertones. Also my favorite ink. I use it a lot for my journal. This is like a brown pink. And then this one is more of like a true brown. Very nice, very pretty. I like when fountain pen bodies match their ink. And let me pull out the swatch for those. So this is a Diamond Earl Grey. You can't really see as much of that shading or change in color when you're writing. And then this one is Kitsune Biori. It's only 20 milliliters and I am almost out of it actually, halfway through. So definitely one of my favorites. And those are all of our fountain pens that I wanted to talk through. I'll definitely be doing like a currently ink maybe every other month once I use up all of these inks and flush them if I really can't stand them anymore. Before we end the video, I do want to show some other inks that I don't have in my pen. Let me take these out of my little binder. I don't have that many inks, and some of these are going to be samples. So Fuyo Shogun, which is the Old Man Winter, we showed in pens. It's in 2 pens. Sailor Mania Fuji, the Pilot Iroshizuku Takesumi, which is the black blank, which is the black ink that is in this broad nib eco. And then Sailor Mania Nekoyanagi, we showed. We have Diamond Earl Grey, Dominant Spring Eden Boom, which is early spring. And then the Jock Urban JH Shogun. It's a big bottle. It's a 50 milliliter bottle, and I hate this ink. And this is the one I want to get rid of first. So I'm probably gonna load it up in my Eco White with a broad nib for heading titles, or maybe one of my mediums once I use them up, because I want to use up that bottle so I can replace it. I hate it. Hate it so much. Never getting a JH ink because I just don't like dry inks. And then we have Colorverse Coffee Break, 30 milliliters. We showed through, where we walked through. These are some of the samples. So this is a sample is like in a little bottle. You can get that from Jet Pens or Goulet Pens or really any of the stationery stores online, and they'll give you like 5 milliliters. So you can just try an ink to see if you'd like it. This is the Diamond Cocoa Shimmer. This is actually the one I want to get to replace the bottle of JH Shogun that I have. And then we have Sailor. Can you? It's not showing with glare, right? Yeah, I'll just lift it. And then Sailor Kitsune Biori, one of my favorites. It's I'm so sad that it's such a tiny bottle. And then the Dia Trementis Document Sepia Brown. I believe the document line for Dia Trementis is the one that's waterproof. I'm not too sure. You can't quote me on that, but it's also a very pretty brown, so I'm debating if I want that. Sailor Manyo Akamai, 50 milliliters. We have this is so pretty. Wait, I need to remove it from this. Look how pretty that is. This is the Weringu, the glass bead game sample. It's so pretty. So pretty. So pretty. And then we have the Diamond Brandy Dazzle. So pretty. It's also one of my favorites. I don't really like writing in red because superstition reasons, but this is more of an orange, so it's fine. But it really does look like a fire. And then we have the Diatramentis Amber Yellow Copper sample. I messed this up. I should probably redo that. We have a Diamine Blue Flame. Oh wait, maybe one of my inks isn't a Neko Yanagi. It's actually Blue Flame. I don't know. But it's there. This one also has glitter. And then a few other samples we have. A LAMY Dark Lilac. So I messed up on this sample. I should probably redo it. You can kind of see the lilac peeking out, but it does have some shimmer. We have a JH sample, 350 Vert Atlantide. It's a dark green with shimmer. We have a Diamond Damson. It's like a purple black. And then a Pilot Iroshizuku Shingyo, which is like a lilac green as well, matcha green, I think. So those are all the inks I have. So samples are like 5 milliliters, but I'm definitely trying to get rid of some bottles before I buy myself more. But yeah, I just wanted to quickly go through with these samples. The fountain pens I have, walk you through my collection. I definitely want to get a Sailor Pro gear when I save up enough for it. Maybe with one of my games, once I finish it, I can get a new fountain pen. But thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and have an amazing day. Bye.